Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Age of the Primes, the 13 Nexus Prime. And yeah, this guy has had a lot of controversy surrounding him. It has kind of died down in the last couple of weeks. Partially because of that new Sentinel Prime pack taking up all the controversial attention now. We've had a few controversial figures in this line at this point. But yeah, this guy is the essentially the demigod of combiners, and they really skipped out on the combining part. But we'll get to that. Anyway, we'll take a quick look here at the box. Here he does have his flying cube, or not cube, flying rectangle mode. It does kind of look like something out of one of those old school pixel games. But yeah, there's that. There he is holding his Enigma of combination. Got our statues, got our artwork there again. Legal jargon, just his name. And then we do have the product shots on the back. And yeah, he comes with his Enigma combination, robot mode, flying rectangle. So there is that for the box. And does come with his lovely instruction booklets. So there is that. And here we have the figure himself. And yeah, it's a little bit odd because he does kind of stand out for a few reasons. One being, like, out of all of them, he kind of does have the most bright and like, I don't want to say in your face, but he definitely feels less rustic and old school than the other primes in the line, with his bright colors. I mean, Star Optimus definitely does, but you know, that's a color scheme that he's always had. It's not something new. He's had, this guy's had a couple different, you know, iterations, and he is mostly based off of his appearance in the Transformers 1 movie. But yeah, his colors are a little more vibrant and stand out-ish compared to some of the other primes. There is also the fact that he essentially forms a torso section for combiners, specifically Superion, and not much else as far as combining goes. And the thing is they said they wanted to do primes across all their different size classes, and like, for example, what's the name? Micronus Prime would have been probably a core class if they hadn't, you know, canceled that size class already. But they did, you know, bump him up to a deluxe with his armor. And, you know, we got all the way up to Titan with Star Convoy. And really, this guy should have been the commander size. We didn't get a commander because we got two other combiners this year. But this guy really should have filled the commander slot with a, you know, some sort of skeleton armor thing, and you know, it probably would have been, you know, a repaint of the one that came with Superion, but if it would have at least been a frame. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I do think that the figure itself is fine. It does have quite a bit of heft to it, surprisingly, and I do think that it is well sculpted. Not the biggest fan of his alt mode, though, if I'm being honest. It's a bit of a nothing burger. We do have his Enigma of combination back here. It does store under the nose cone. And I can just wiggle it out here. It is does have a post on it, so you can put it in his hand. So there is that, if you want to do that. He does also come with two wing blasters here that he can use. And again, I feel like they could have done more with these. If they had, like, extended this out and made it into a handle, I think this would have made, like, a great axe weapon. but they are just blasters. And the thing is, they're not even blast compatible, I don't think. Oh, no, they are. They are. Okay. The nub is a little short, so it's not great, but it does fit. So I think they could have done more with these, but that is a thing that they have. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just put this back here because that's pretty much where I always keep it. And yeah, you can see his big combination head, and we'll get to that. But yeah, of course he can hold his guns in his hand, and you can like fold these down if you want. They are on a hinge. I've seen a lot of people put them in this port up here, so he has like shoulder guns. So you do have some options there, and I don't remember, is this blast compatible? No, okay, but it does look like he has a little blaster engine thing on his hand. But yeah, it's that's the best I can really describe this character as, is So, but yeah, I do like to put these up here. I think it looks kind of neat. Gives them a little more flavor. A little more flavor. So, there's that. And we will do some quick comparisons here. Here he is next to one of his brethren in Alchemist. Another character that a lot of other people loved and I wasn't necessarily impressed with. So you can see how he stacks next to another Voyager. Here he is next to Studio Series Optimus. So he stacks next to a quote-unquote leader / commander. And here he is next to Silverbolt. So there's that. There is that. So that's about it for the comparison. So we should probably go over his articulation. I'm just gonna take these off and put them to the side for right now. His head is on a very nice ball joint and does have a nice gold painted visor there. I do like that. Shoulders are a full 360. Can come out that far. We do have a bicep swivel. We do have about 90 degrees at the elbow. As long as we make sure this is out of the way, we do get a full 360 at the waist. We do get a full forward kick. Quite nice. We do get as far back as collision will allow, so if you move everything out of the way, you get a very nice back kick. Get full splits. We do get a thigh swivel. We do get 90 degrees at the knee. And we do get a ankle tiltage. And because of the way his feet have to change, you can get some movement in the foot. In fact, if you really want to, you can even give him a bit more like chicken foot if you want. And yeah, a couple of these joints are really stiff because they're essentially the what's the word, like the soft ratchet like shaped movement, whatever. You can sort of see there's like, yeah, you can see that it's like rounded edges and it has to kind of snap around. So there is that as far as articulation. And there have been some people coming up with fan modes. I even came up with one and put a photo of it up on the Transformers subreddit. So there are fanned alt modes if you don't necessarily like his big flying rectangle mode. But we do need to get him into said rectangle mode, so we are going to go ahead and get him transformed up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to bring this whole assembly up and bring this back on this hinge here. And we just want to fold his head down and into his chest. And then we want to bring these arms out there on these double hinges. And then we want to just close those up and bring this whole nose cone section up. And it does actually tab in here on this tab right here. So get that tabbed in. Then we want to come here to his legs, and I do kind of want to straighten these out. And then these panels here are going to come up and they're going to flip over, and you can see there are two tabs and two slots, and it's just going to come over like so. And if I remember correctly, we do need to turn, we want to bring this around and then sort of finagle it so that his shins are coming up like this. Then you're going to bend the knee, yeah, and you can see there's a tab right here on the end, and there's a slot right here. That's going to come in and tab in like so. Make sure that I get this lined up. Are you going to fight me because the camera's on? Probably. It's going to really fight me because the camera's on for some reason. Well, I guess that's not cooperating. Oh, I know why. It's because you're supposed to flip this around first. Because yeah, this part needs to be able to hold the shoulder assembly. That's why it's not working. I had it flipped around now. Yep, see, now it just went in just fine. And yep, went right in. So yeah, now that we have that, we want to bring the arms down, and there is a tab, and it'll go into that open section there. Do want to make sure we get the arm in though, like so. And I almost forgot, it does want you to like rotate the hand around like a certain way to sort of make it blend a little better, but it's still obviously just a hand turned a different direction, so I usually don't bother with that, especially considering it's a little annoying to turn his hands with all this extra kibble here around his wrist. So I usually don't bother with that part. But yeah, you bring that together, and then you want to rotate his arm, not that way, so that the little engine bit is facing up. And now you can see there are a couple slots and a couple tabs, and that's just going to go over like that. Make sure you do it on the other side, and there we go. And then we basically just bring in these, and they're just going to plug on to the tops of his toes. Get that in there. There we go. And like so. And there you have him in his nothing burger of an alt mode. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Not really loving it. Again, a lot of people have been making fan modes for this guy. So, but yeah, it's what the instructions tell you to do. We can say that. We can say that. So, for a couple comparisons, here he is with another one of his brothers in Alchemist. So there he is next to a deluxe. And here he is next to generic Seeker. And yeah, despite the what feels like a very significant size difference, this guy does feel a lot more dense. So maybe because of that whole combiner bit. But yeah, it is what it is. But as mentioned, he does actually combine with the frame for Superion. You can hook the whole like back jet thing on somehow. I I'm not going to bother with that because I'm never going to do it. But since I did have him in robot mode, I'll bring in the frame and at least show that combination, because that does involve transforming him into a slightly different mode. Where did I put his arms? There they are. I've lost his arms. Okay, yeah, bring these over. So, but we will do that configuration. So we're just going to go ahead and take these off again. And so here we go. And so we do want to fold that down and bring his head out, and then we are going to untab these, and we do want to, come on, there you go, there we go, and untab this, get this out here, and fold these over. So, and then we want to bring his arms up, and we're just going to fold them over his shoulders, basically like this. And I think, yeah, you want to have it facing with this inward, because this tab here, this further one, is going to go into this little slot on his shoulder right here. And so tab it in like that and like that. And I should mention, this is not mentioned in the instructions. It's his combination is not even brought up at all in the instructions. But now I believe if we do it this facing this way, yeah, we want to sort of scrunch in his feet, and they're going to come in. I think we need to fold this all the way and catch it again. There we go. Bring it in like that, and yeah, that'll come up and close over that tab. So we want to bring this over and just get that all the way. No, I did that the wrong way. Hold on. Like so, and bring that over, and that'll just go over that tab like so. And then fold that nose cone up like that, and he is now in his torso configuration. And we can attach it. You do need to plug this bit here into this hole in his crotchular area like so, and then it will go over these two tabs here, just the same as Silverbolt. And go like that. And then again, these square bits will go into these holes here. And make sure that we have this all lined up. Now, there, raise this up a little bit. You can have him facing either way. You can turn his head around and have him facing this way, or you can do what a lot of people have been doing and just like rotate his, I think you gotta like switch the legs, but you can have it, oh wait, no, actually it would just be a switching here. A lot of people have them this way, but I prefer to have the chest covered up and do it this way. And yeah, these arms, just depending on which way you want him facing, you just gotta make sure to put the arms on the right side. They do both fit on either way. It just simply slides over. But you can put him in Superion's frame, and we'll just put his little blasters here on his arms like so. So you can put him in the Superion frame, and some people found a way to like sort of MacGyver him into Menassor's frame, but it's not as secure because it's not actually designed to fit in that. So, but it's a thing you can do if you want to bother with it. And personally, looking at this head sculpt of his, and I'm gonna try and bring him, sit him down. Do it like this. I don't know if this is actually gonna work or not. No, it's not. But okay, fine. I did just want to take one look at this real quick because now I will say that this is just my personal opinion here, but does this not kind of look does this not kind of look like a Michael Bay version of the same head in a way? That's how I feel about it. I feel like this has been Bayified in its design, and I mean, it's not like I hate it or anything. It feels sort of more like a Michael Bay designed head than anything else. But yeah, you can at least mix them up with Superion, so there's that. Yeah, I know that they've said they're going to do limbs for him sometime throughout the next year. There hasn't been any official confirmation on his own frame, his own skeleton frame, though. So I don't think I'm going to bother with any of those in particular. Again, I really think he should have been a commander release as it was, and had his own designated frame to begin with. But what happened is what happened, and again, I don't think he's a terrible toy for what he is. I just do think that they really kind of dropped the ball on the situation as a whole. And you know, I got him because I wanted to complete my 13 primes. I already had all the other ones before, and it was just, him and Liege were the ones left. And now I have both of those, so I have my full 13. I still got to do the review for Liege Maximo, but yeah, I'm not really planning on investing in the extra limbs and stuff at this point. I think that they either should have made him a full commander with his own frame, or done something along the lines of Amalgamus, where he had a bunch of different parts you could rearrange. Like, they've done it with 2 figures already. They did it with him. They did it with Micronus. I don't see why they didn't at least do something along those lines for this guy. So, yeah, it is what it is. Again, I got him just to complete this 13. I don't think he's horrible, but that's really the only justification I can say for getting him at this point, is if you're trying to complete the full set of the 13 primes. So, yeah, make of that what you will. If you feel it's worth getting him, or maybe even investing in the upcoming limbs, that is your decision. But I think this is about as far as he's going to go for me, is just the standalone part. And yeah, that's all I really have to say here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review. And this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.